And this is called Whatculture, isn't it?
It is, yes.
That's what this is called. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Whatculture. I'm Ben from Whatculture or Whatculture? Yeah?
Yes, still Whatculture.
Whatculture. I'm joined by Simon Gallagher and also
Hello.
James Hunt.
Hello.
Now, Adam Cleary and Adam Blompier are normally here for this, but they're very busy doing wrestling things. So you've got us, the
Imagine the
super group,
comments.
right? I'm sure you're all absolutely thrilled. I've
No
stolen
Adams at all.
No Adams. I know. Even when Blompier's not here, there's usually another Adam somewhere that can fill in.
Yeah.
I've stolen Adam's lovely cloak, promotional cloak, which is a bit small for me.
Because he's a tiny man.
He's
as
a
we've
small,
discussed.
small gentleman. We can't really see the screen, so hopefully you can see us over and behind the microphone stands, but I think we're going to be okay. Now, according to my notes, the episode that just aired is called Beyond the Wall.
It was, yes.
I think I'm doing okay so far.
Yes,
You're doing
it's got
great.
one.
Now we're going to go through it all and talk it out. Firstly, what did you guys think of it? Because this is obviously... It's a topic of discussion as to whether or not this is the greatest or the most rushed or what it is. So what did you guys think of it?
I thought it was very good. It definitely had its issues,
Yeah.
which I'm sure we'll talk through in terms of how fast everything moved. But overall, I thought, the spectacle of it, the characters, it worked.
For me, good episodes of Game of Thrones make you feel things, whether it's disgust or thrilled or whatever.
Yeah.
And this was... like putting aside the fact that there were issues with the finesse and things like that, it was really good. It basically almost killed me at least twice,
Right.
which is always a good sign of a good
Yeah.
TV show.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was the best ever, because I think that's too much of a knee-jerk reaction immediately after every episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was one of the highlights of this series,
Yes.
definitely.
Absolutely. Well, shall we get stuck in?
Yes, let's.
Yeah.
So we started off north of the wall with the Super Friends, and there was loads of exposition.
Yes.
Fun exposition. John was trying to give the sword back to Jorah, which he refused, thankfully, because it's a very important sword
Yes.
and can kill
Yes.
the bad dead people.
But it didn't come alive.
No.
No.
it
There
did
were
not.
some claims that it did come alive because one of the eyes flashed.
It's a drop of water.
Oh,
But it
Oh.
didn't, because the showmaker has said today that it didn't.
right.
It's water.
Yes.
Oh, it was water.
Yes.
Okay,
It is
I
a
wasn't
sword.
even aware that was a thing.
Yeah.
It's an inanimate object.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Lots of
It
things
is
can
life.
happen in
It is
Game of
just a
Thrones,
sword.
but swords can't come to life.
Wonderful.
That is
That's-
not a thing in the law.
That's good to establish.
Yes.
Gendry was also complaining about being sold off by the
Yes.
Brotherhood.
You'd think you'd get over it.
Yeah, you.
Well,
It's been a long time.
It's a
been running
sticky
for like 3 years.
It's something most people probably wouldn't forget.
Yeah.
And then obviously Tormund was talking to Jon about the fact that Mance Rayder never bent the knee,
Yes.
and it got a lot of people killed, and maybe
Yes.
he shouldn't be so proud.
Which was a very key moment
Mm-hmm.
for me, especially because Tormund is my favourite by some distance.
Right, you look like Tormund.
Yes, I do call that. Oh, Ben. Yeah, I think that was the only, like, no matter how many times Danny says to him, Ben, you have to bend the knee, or I'm not going to help you. It had to take somebody like Tormund to say,
yeah.
Yeah,
Mance Rayder was wrong as well, so you should do it.
yeah.
No pride.
And he does.
Yeah, that
And he
came
does.
back at the end of the
he
episode.
does eventually, yeah.
But we'll get there.
Oh, sorry.
Eventually.
Let's
Yes.
work through
Let's not
canonically,
jump
guys.
like
Come
Game
on.
of Thrones.
Let's do this properly, as Adam Cleary would want it.
Yes.
Yes.
God bless
Yes.
him. God rest him.
God rest him.
Yes, because he's dead.
His watch is over.
Then we went to Winterfell, and Sansa was confronted by Arya, all about that pesky little finger man who's
Yes.
doing some kind of plotting that we're not really
Littlefinger.
sure. Yes, exactly. Well, I don't know if you can say that.
Well,
I think that's what he wants to do to Sansa. We
Yes.
haven't quite got there yet.
I think he would take any stock, personally.
Really?
Yeah, I think
even
he just
Bran.
wants- even Bran. I thought when they talked that there was some...
well, Sparks, fine.
well, not Sparks, because Bran doesn't have Sparks.
Oh.
But he was definitely like... He was one raised eyebrow away from it definitely being Kenneth Williams. I'll do anything you want. I'll help in any way.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, this is obviously about the note that was planted
Yes.
that Arya found, which is from the first season, about asking Robb to bend the knee and, our father is a traitor and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And this, I don't know how you guys felt about this, but this whole arc with Arya, this episode, felt really weird to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Really out of character. Like she suddenly decided, well,
Yeah.
here's one piece of paper, and now you're one of the people I'm going to kill and threaten. And it was almost like she'd been brainwashed. It was really bizarre.
Yeah, I think had we seen some more interaction between her and Littlefinger, and him actually brainwashing her, then it would have made sense. It was like that was sort of missing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. James, I'll say the same thing. I don't like the way Arya's been written this series. I mean, I'm presuming
No,
you would say that.
I do agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it worked in terms of like scaring Sansa, but I don't know if that was necessary, really.
Right.
No, I think in terms of Arya this year, I think getting her back to Winterfell worked really well.
Yeah.
But the conflict with her and Sansa doesn't feel quite right because they've been apart so long.
Yeah.
Yes, they never got on, but surely they just sit down, have a conversation about what they've both been through.
Or Bran could just
Or
say,
Bran could just
you
tell
know
them,
that
yeah.
he's like messing with you,
Yeah.
because I can see everything, as you
Yeah.
know, because I told you that I'd seen you getting raped.
Do you know how happy Cersei would be if she saw us fighting, is what Sansa said, which is
Yes.
like a fantastic point.
Yeah.
And the kind of point that you would have thought would snap anyone with a reasonable amount of intellect, and also the fact that obviously they're sisters,
Yeah.
would make her not necessarily come to reason, but also just, maybe just want to talk it through and work it out. But she just wasn't having any of it. She was just like,
Yeah,
You're my enemy now.
I knows that Littlefinger is a bag. Just
It was
to
quite
get
weird.
that
Like,
good.
she recalls seeing Sansa on the platform when they died, but when that happened, it wasn't like Sansa was just sitting
No,
there
she was
happy. She was like screaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So and Arya seems to have missed that.
Yeah,
That was weird.
yeah, it was. So we're now back to Snowland,
Yes.
Snowdonia,
Yes.
and the Super Friends are continuing. There's a little bit more of
Exposition.
some fun exposition
Yep.
and conversations. Mainly, Tormund doubling down on wanting to have babies with Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
Yes, which is the most romantic thing I've ever heard in that show.
Right.
honest.
After some dick jokes, which
Yeah.
is
Yes,
bizarre.
which is
Of
how
course.
the best way to say
Yeah.
it.
Exactly, just go straight into romance with the
Yes.
dick jokes. And then obviously the Hound spots the mountain that he saw in his
The Arrowhead
vision.
Vision,
yeah.
Yes, which they then head towards, which is quite a short scene. But it seems interesting that the Hound is sort of fully going for the vision stuff. When obviously, I think you guys have spoken about it before. When previously he's been a very, f off you kind of character,
Yes.
and now he's
Now he's a
wholeheartedly
spiritualist.
like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
the visions. There it is. Let's go and do it.
I think there's a reason for it, and I think it's being discussed quite a lot at the minute that the Night King set them up, wanted them to come up there. I'm
Right.
sort of jumping a little bit ahead, but this point is very very key to the mountain.
Yeah.
There's no explanation for why the mountain had a vision. He is not touched by the Lord of Light in any way, apart from physically on his face.
Yes, yes.
Which is a bit harsh, but that we're not led to believe that he's in the same magical bracket as Taurus and Melisandre,
Right.
and yet he just casually has this vision as if it's nothing.
Yeah.
And even the two who are there with him, Beric and Taurus, are just like, oh, that's happened,
Yeah.
as if it's purely incidental. I think that the Night King has put that in his head
Right.
because he's such a singularly driven sort of character that he was the key to get those three up north because the other two would have gone anyway, but
Yeah.
he needed to see something. And I think it's too handy that he saw that mountain and then it's like that's where it all happens.
Yeah.
So
And also
I-
his brother, of course, called the Mountain. But
Yes.
there was
Yes.
no real parallels there. I don't
No,
know.
no.
It's just that would have been a bit on the nose, wouldn't it?
Yeah. My brothers
like
called
your brother.
that.
hey, look, it's your brother.
Although, to be fair, there were some actual moments of that, like the bit where Tormund and him are talking about. The Hound says, "Do you want to suck my cock?" and Tormund goes, "Cock? Ah, dick. I like that." And the Hound says, "Of course you do.
Yeah,
I bet you do."
I bet you
Which
do.
is the most like. I got a little kick out of it because it was funny, but then it's just one of the worst bits of writing in the whole show.
It is just.
It's completely on the nose.
Hey,
Yeah.
a dick joke.
Yeah.
Here it
And
comes.
immediately after Tormund has done the same thing basically with Gendry and said, we didn't really need women, we just coped as we could.
Yeah.
Raising his eyebrows again.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But then we were whisked away to Dragonstone for the first time this episode, and Tyrion and Dany were having a nice fireside chat.
Yes, getting on very well again.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, where she was, she basically said, "I like you because you're not a hero."
Yes.
He was like, "Hey, do you see the scar
Oh, yeah.
from the no?"
He basically won the Battle of Blackwater.
Yeah.
Not a hero.
No, just a coward, just a
Killed
small
his father.
cowardly man. Yeah,
Not a hero.
on the toilet. It's so. What do you think this actually means? Because they clashed last episode as well, and they also have not an argument, but later on when she goes to do something, he's like, "Don't do that." She's like, "I'm going to do that," and it seems like his advice is becoming less and less.
Yeah, I think it's just it's beating the same bush as it has been for the past whatever episodes. I don't think they really needed to have that conversation. I think the point of it was for them to have the succession conversation, and they just needed to frame it a bit more. I think if that is Dany's reasons for having him as the hand, then she's an idiot, to be honest, because he's failed so far.
Right.
I love him, obviously,
Yeah.
but you don't employ somebody who's that key when they're not a hero and they're not very good at their job. That's like the two first things of recruitment.
And from the
But Tyrion
the
should be good at
enemy
his
as
job.
well.
He should be, yeah.
When he was hand previously,
Yeah.
he was awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Who knows?
I think it was just it's all trying to set up the fact that Dany's really impulsive, and then obviously you get the payoff with the dragon later on.
Yeah.
And it was an all right scene. You needed to go to Dragonstone. You needed them to do something. So, and there was a bit of a gap in logic. Well, I say that she was just wrong to hire him, but it was a bit of a gap in logic of why she actually likes him still when he's everything up.
Yeah.
Well, there's no time to dwell on that because now there's an undead bear.
Yes, right out of
The
out of
undead
nowhere,
bear
unless
comes
you're Gendry.
charging over and
Yeah.
kills some unimportant characters.
Of course.
The red shirts, yes.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
weren't even there in the end of the last episode.
No.
Suddenly magicked out of nowhere.
To be killed by a bear.
Yeah, they just came along. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe they're carrying I don't know, ice tents.
Yeah.
What were they planning on doing? Were they going to stay or were they just going to walk for 48 hours and with no food? Or,
Yeah, just walk, get away, and come back.
Exactly.
was
Someone's
the
going to be
worst
carrying
plan.
the Portaloo and stuff. Someone's bringing that.
That's what they were there.
Those guys, and now those guys have died. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, there's no trees to go behind. I'm going to go 10 paces that way. No one look.
I honestly thought that the polar bear bit was absolutely terrifying.
Right.
It was stupid a little bit because Gendry manages to spot that the bear has blue eyes.
From like
Yeah, I
100
could-
Through the
yards
mist,
away.
200
I
yards
couldn't
away.
even see the bear yet, but he was seeing that. Now, one of the people that was hurt was a key character, and I can't remember his name.
Taurus of
Taurus
Myr.
of Myr.
There it
Yes.
is, which would ultimately be his undoing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he was injured, and what did they do to heal the wound? Did they just burn
Just
it?
burned him.
Burn
Just
it, yeah.
cauterize it with a
Shut.
massive flaming sword.
Yeah, fun. Have you seen the behind the scenes stuff from that? In that they were actually
The
using
video.
a real flaming
Yes.
sword.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
for like 2 minutes at a time, and
God, that's dangerous, isn't it?
That's why everything's so expensive because they just keep
The
almost killing the actors.
We have to engineer a real flame sword. It's
But we can't put a
important.
dog in.
No,
That would be too much.
Yeah.
no. Let's make a wonky CGI dog that no one believes. We then go back to Winterfell, and Sansa is talking to Littlefinger,
Yeah.
as of course she is.
Yes.
And for some reason, he suggests that she speak with Brienne of Tarth about.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird.
Which is a good idea, right? For her to sort of intervene, and you're not really sure why
No,
he would
yeah.
suggest that.
Especially as the way he says it, he seems to be saying, if Arya attacks you, Brienne will kill
Yeah.
Arya.
Right,
When
yeah.
in fact she won't.
She wouldn't do that.
No, because she has to still protect them.
Yeah. She's got to
She
protect both
literally
of them.
says she's going to protect both of you. Therefore, she'll kill
Yeah.
her for you.
I suppose she'd stop Arya from killing Sansa. At,
Yeah,
the, at
that's
the very least.
Yeah, but the way Littlefinger says it, it presents it as if that would be a solution, not like a defensive thing, sort of an attacking
Yeah.
thing.
Do
It's
any
very
of
odd.
you have any idea what his plan is just yet?
I think
Because he's weaving some weird decisions
Yeah.
together.
I think that he is spying for Cersei
Okay.
because she claims to know everything, and that would be how.
Right.
And his end game is always just to marry the most powerful person,
Right.
and that's probably Cersei.
That is the slime.
There's no way she would ever go anywhere. Yeah.
Right.
And now that he's been battered away from being like an abusive, I don't want to say paedophile, but he basically is.
He is a
He's
bit.
being set up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got no real allies anymore. Like Sansa doesn't want to work with him. She doesn't want to ally with him.
Yeah.
Arya clearly has got his number. Brienne knows exactly what he is, as she says. So he has to make, his whole thing is making alliances with people that serve him. So he must be doing it with somebody else.
Right.
And barring the fact that he might be with the Night King, it's got to be Cersei. It's the only one that's left.
Right.
Unless it's Varys.
Oh,
And they're
it could
just
be.
they're just striking out on their
Varys has
own.
been
No
very
sense,
quiet. He hasn't been
Yeah.
up too much this
Yeah.
season. What do you think, James?
I don't think it's Cersei necessarily. I think
Okay.
it is just to turn Sansa and Arya against each other.
Right.
I don't think it's a good plan, but I think that's about the extent of it. Is him trying to control the pair of them and control Winterfell,
Right.
and then use that to leverage himself up eventually up the ladder to the Iron Throne.
Is the end game here that we're all secretly waiting for someone just to call him on his bullshit and chop his head
Stab
off?
him in
Yeah,
the neck.
that,
Yes.
I mean that dagger's come back for a reason.
Yeah,
It's
that's
gotta-
true. That's going to find its way back to him somehow.
Yeah,
Now we go back to the Super Friends, as we'll be doing a lot this
Yeah.
episode.
Yes.
And they spy a group of White Walkers.
Just on their own.
Just having-
chilling.
Because that happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it's like the perhaps outdated stereotype of women going to the toilet by themselves. It's the
Yes.
the White
Okay,
Walkers
can't go
all
to the
broke
toilet.
off on their own and went for a wee. Because there was an important White Walker amongst them, the
Yes.
weird icy-looking one.
Yeah.
So maybe he needed people to look after him while he went to the toilet. But they went down and attacked, and John hit the icy one, and 99% of them all shattered and
Yes.
disintegrated.
Coincidentally, all but one.
Which took
All
them
but-
all by
all but the
surprise.
one they captured.
Yes. So they managed to capture one of them, which of course
Yeah.
they're going to take back to Cersei to try and prove that there is a threat north of the wall.
This, for me, this also fits in with the idea that the Night King
planned it.
planned this.
Yeah, because it's all
they
very
don't-
convenient.
Yeah,
isn't
they don't do away parties in White Walker terms.
Right.
They don't just send 8 of them,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
conveniently small amount of them. And then they wouldn't have one of them not controlled by that one White Walker, unless they were intending for that to happen.
Imagine being that one White Walker that was sacrificed.
Yeah,
You know,
I know, yeah.
You
Yeah.
dick.
Also quite interesting as well that they've brought in this new rule of you kill a White Walker
Yeah.
and all the whites under its control.
Shatter.
I believe that's
Yeah,
called
I
an
wasn't-
ass pull.
But that's come from because we saw a hard form and White Walker died and we didn't see
Nothing-
the whites
yeah, no- none
fall
for-
there.
no-
So
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah, it's some kind of
where that's come from. but-
convenient psychic magic. It's
Yes.
been, I don't know. Anyway, they capture it, and it does scream, doesn't it?
That was some good acting.
It
Some
makes
good
some
zombie
loud
acting.
noises while they capture it, and then they hear the thundering of the rest of the army coming towards them. So John yells at Gendry to run and send a raven to Dany,
Because-
and off he goes.
Because he's
He
the
knows
fastest.
he's the fastest, but how does he know this? How does he know
I mean,
Gendry's the
it's
fastest?
a fair assumption. He's with a bunch of drunks and old people.
He's not
So-
wearing much armor.
That's true, but I don't want to keep going back to him. Tormund is obviously the greatest specimen out of that group, and is quite clearly running alongside John, so he's fast.
Maybe it's because
It's because Gendry's useless.
Gendry,
really.
yeah, partly Gendry's useless, but equally, maybe he's not too proven in battle to them yet. And they're like, well, this is going to get messy
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
quickly, so go and send the new guy, because, I mean,
He's
he
the
looks,
weakest fighter,
He
yeah.
looks small enough to get there quickly.
Yeah, he looks like he could sprint for 3 days.
Yes,
without stopping at all.
Well, apparently it's 8 hours or 4 hours that he was, I don't know.
There's
It's-
lots of different
Yeah.
maths.
Yeah, it's
I
just-
believe Adam Cleary solved it.
He did work it out, and there are various theories online about how everyone managed to get there within, and then the ice freezing over on the lake. And all
Yeah.
that.
It does
But
kind of work if you
it makes sense,
do
but
that.
you
but-
really have to do the mental
Yeah.
gymnastics to make it work. There was no real in-show measuring stick
No.
of time passing. Like
No.
their beards didn't get longer. They didn't
Just
get
keep looking at their watches.
thirstier. There wasn't like a big, like toilet pile somewhere on their little ice island where they'd been going. But apparently it works. So there we go. Now, while he's running after that, they get chased onto the frozen lake
Yes.
by the army of the dead, and it all starts to crack behind them. But obviously, with them being chased, Again, quite convenient that they're all funneling through behind them to force them towards the lake.
Yes.
That was nice. But it starts to crack, so they're forced to run across the island, and loads of the dead fall into the lake as they're going there. And so they eventually just all circle the lake and just stand there looking at them, sort of waiting them out.
This was the bit where I nearly died.
Yeah.
The polar bear nearly killed me, but I nearly died of stress at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's quite weird that the White Walkers... all I do is nitpick this show because I love it. Like, I like beyond anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they stopped. I don't know why the water would stop the White Walkers.
Right.
The whites.
Yeah.
It's cold, but so are they.
They're
And then they
shown
fall
to-
in later
Yeah.
and come out of it again.
Exactly.
But
They're
no,
shown
that,
to come out
that
of it.
ties into the idea of the Night King planning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Um,
It's very precise planning, though.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
You have to plan, you have to allow for the fact that the Hound is an idiot and threw that stone.
Yeah,
then
he does.
if
He does seem to know
whatever.
what everyone's motivations would be and what they do in certain situations.
Maybe he just watches Game of Thrones.
Maybe, yeah. He's got the leaked version, so he knows,
Yeah.
he knows
Bran.
what's going down.
That's what Bran's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He's the
pirating.
one hacking it.
Yeah, oh, Bran.
What a theory that is. Write that up.
Now we cut back to Gendry collapsing just outside the gates of Eastwatch.
Yeah.
He's done it. His marathon is over. And then Sir Davos rushes out and he's like, don't worry, we'll get some pen and paper and we'll send a bird down.
We'll get a Meister that doesn't exist.
Yes, yeah,
At
go
this
fetch
castle.
Maester Blue Balls. We'll draw up the plans and send them over to Dany, who of course will drop everything because she's an idiot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we'll get to her in a minute because don't worry, there's 2 entire scenes between the Raven being sent and it arriving, which
yes.
of course is 7 hours
Yeah.
in Game of Thrones times.
Turbo.
Yeah,
Turbo Raven.
Bird. Now, Thoros of Myr. Yeah, that's how we're pronouncing that?
Yeah.
Okay. He died on the island.
Yes,
while
which
they're
was very
waiting there.
touching.
Yeah, it
was.
was.
Even though he hasn't been used very well.
No, but
He's still
of course
a great
he was the
character.
one to die because,
Yeah.
like, of the
He had a
7
target on his back
characters,
for the entire
he was
time.
like the least beloved.
Yeah,
So-
and he was also hurt earlier, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was limping about, and then he died of the cold. The
Yes.
cold got him.
Winter came.
Yes, winter came for Thoros of Myr, and they talk about the various strategies they could employ about maybe just charging them.
That's clever.
maybe-
That's a Tyrion plan.
Maybe going straight for the shiny, icy ones and seeing if the rest of them shatter, which is something they've only just established, and they don't know if that's really going to
Yeah.
work because it
Yeah.
hasn't happened before. But that's basically it there. Now, something that you wrote up in your article about...
Oh, you're reading my articles.
Of course.
Thanks, friend.
Big fan. Whatculture.com. Is it /TV? I don't
It
know.
is.
Yeah,
Is it?
probably.
Oh, well, there we
Yes,
go.
yeah, that's James's section.
About things that the questions that are posed by this episode that are left at the end, and one of them is that let's get his name, Beric. Yeah?
Yeah.
Dondarrion.
I do have
Dondarrion.
problems remembering the names sometimes. In Game of Thrones, there are a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
They're very strange. Beric, is he now doomed?
Yes.
Because Thoros of Myr is the guy that brought him back from the dead 6 times.
Yeah, so he's on his last life, surely.
Yeah, so now he's run out of lives.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Is he going to die next episode? Is he going to make it to season 7?
I actually thought he was going to die in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't see any value in him staying alive. I mean, that's horrible.
The flame sword.
Sorry. Yeah.
Does it just
Oh,
have an
that's
on
what the flame
switch,
sword-
or does he?
It's
can
it's
it be
like
passed
magic,
on?
really.
Oh right,
So-
so
But
it can't
it
really
isn't
be passed
Valerian
on.
steel, is it?
No.
So it won't do anything to the White Walkers.
They just tap
I
them
know
with
it does the
and
whites.
burn them. It's
Yeah.
like a lighter,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
A giant lighter.
when you heat up the end of the light.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to be in the next episode because he's left on Dragonstone
Yeah, he's like-
at the end, so he can't die in it.
Eastwatch.
Right.
Eastwatch. Is he? I thought he went to Dragonstone.
Do you work on it?
I thought they had an exchange where he said, "I'll see you again,"
I thought he was still
and it was on the beach.
Possibly.
Well,
Maybe he's
Answers in the comments.
He's somewhere, and
Yeah,
it's
he's
not.
he's
it's
not,
not
with Jon
King's Landing.
anyway, yeah.
maybe he's just going to go north and die and then come back as
Yes.
as a walker, and that's just a really morbid way of saying, "I'll fight you soon."
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
That's
my
true,
weird,
yeah.
shambly lack of internal organs.
I think he is doomed though. He's not going. His trajectory is probably because he called out the Night King. Basically, he said,
Yeah, he wants to
I
fight
know
him."
what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to charge in and immediately die.
Just be killed straight
and
away by
then
Night
Jon
King.
will be
because-
like, "Oh, that's not what you do. I should do something else."
Oh bugger! I
Yes.
thought that would work.
Yes, yeah,
"God,
exactly.
we're out of plans now."
What are we gonna do?
We have no flame swords.
Now Sansa is getting an invitation to King's Landing for some reason.
This
Do we
is why
know?
I think Littlefinger is working for Cersei.
Right.
Because it comes at the point where she's most vulnerable.
And Sansa sends Brienne
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yes.
Which we're not really sure why. It does mean that...
Because she's just been told that she could protect her. Therefore,
Yeah, so she has
in
to
her
go.
logic, she has to send her away.
Right. Well, I mean, this does mean Brienne can meet up with Jaime again.
Yeah.
Yes.
The man she belongs with.
No,
Sorry,
it's
Siren.
not. It's not at all.
It is. Right.
I'm not having it. if Game of Thrones ends like that, I'm not watching anymore after this last
Jaime's
episode.
got a new weird chromosome baby on the way.
He has, yeah.
With his
Yeah.
sister wife.
Or does he?
Or does it? Well, true. I mean, who else could it be from? Do we know?
That doesn't mean she's not really pregnant.
Okay,
I
that's
think
a
she
very good
is.
point.
She has to be.
Does she though?
What would she have to gain by that?
Him.
because
his loyalty.
True, but I got the. I mean, yeah, I understand that. But when I was watching it, I thought, is it really about them being her trying to keep him loyal, or is it more that because everything that Jaime's done in terms of losing the caravan and all of their soldiers and losing their home and all that crap, I would have thought Cersei would have been absolutely
Furious with him? Yeah,
furious.
that's what I
So
think as well.
Cersei's the one that I think Jaime needs to keep happy rather than Cersei. I don't know. It seems weird. It would be interesting if she was faking because I don't know what she'd have to gain.
I don't think she is. I think her whole obsession is with having a bloodline.
Right.
Like she could do anything she wanted when it was only her. She could kill everybody, and she did kill everybody, because there's no comeback. So she even said in one of the episodes that whatever way she goes, she dies, and that's like basically the end of their house. But now that she has a child, everything changes for her.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that there would. I think if it had been faked when they cuddled, she would have pulled like a dastardly sort of face. When she didn't, she just did like a nice smile.
Just a lingering zoom on her expressionless face
Yeah.
with a noise music or something.
Yeah.
Like, uh-oh. Tension.
And I just didn't get that.
Right.
I think the way this series has been quite blatant about everything.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been the most Thronesy thing that I would have done in this. It would have been like, da da da.
Well, we probably won't find out next episode, although it is a staggering 76 minutes long.
Yes.
So it could well be that several years pass.
Considering how quick Ravens go.
Exactly, that gives them more time to play with. Now, Dany gets her Turbo Raven, and she gets right on them dragons, and she flies off immediately, and Tyrion's saying, no, don't do that. Sometimes it's, a hero knows when to say no or something stupid. Like that.
Even though he's not a hero.
No,
so
he's
he
not.
shouldn't be
a hero.
saying
He
that.
wouldn't know.
So she just goes.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
on her Turbo Dragons this time, which can fly faster than Turbo Ravens,
Yes.
according to science.
They are a lot bigger.
They are a lot bigger. There's a lot more
I don't think they're made
wing power.
for speed, though, are they?
Maybe if they do that thing you used to do in GTA with the tanks, where you turn the turret around
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
fly.
Yes, yes.
So if they fly backwards
the
and
stream of
refire,
fire.
they fly off
would
like
have been
a
a
jet.
great scene.
What a sight. Can someone draw that? I want to see that. So back to Ice Island, and we're with the Super Friends again, and the Hound is getting bored and stupid, and he throws a rock at one of the... there are so many names for them. We've got
Whites.
White Walkers, Whites,
Yeah.
Zombies.
Undead, the Dead, the Zombies,
Yeah.
the...
So they're the whites, like the more zombie-looking ones.
Are the
Just
whites.
yeah.
Okay, right.
And
The
they-
white. He throws it at a white.
Yeah.
Also known, I don't know if you've seen the sort of viral image about this particular white, the most hard-working white of the entire episode, because he not only gets a rock thrown at him and it slides along the floor, which makes them realise, obviously, that the ice is frozen over again. He's the first to charge in.
Yes.
He's the first to take people to task. He then falls into the ice, comes back later to fight someone else,
Damn.
and is still spotted right at the end. He makes it through the entire episode. The hero white.
I didn't know that.
He really does work very hard. So I think that's commendable.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then they all just start fighting, and
Yeah.
this is very intense. Basically, while they're just waiting for the dragons to
Yes.
show up.
Yeah.
This is the third time Anadi died.
There was heart was racing at this point.
Yes. Standing up in my living room,
Yeah.
watching
And,
it.
I mean, you'll have been very worried because
I was horrified, honestly.
It looked like Tormund was going to
Tormund
die.
was going.
Was
I thought he was
absolutely
dead.
buried, yeah.
I think for the past 4 episodes, I've thought this is the point where he's going to
Yeah.
die at this exact point in this episode.
I mean, it made sense.
And then
for
they
him to
do
die
it,
there,
but then
but
they
then it didn't. But
is it the Hound that saves him?
yes,
I can't remember.
Best friends now.
I know, yeah.
Tormund and the Hound.
That would be a great spin-off.
Yeah,
those
I'd
two.
watch an animated show of Tormund. and the
Yes.
Hound.
Yeah.
But I was so distraught by it that I literally said, "Oh no, he's gone," which I keep telling people.
That's him.
And it's over. It's all gone.
But it's okay. He's made it.
All is dust. Yeah.
Everyone somehow makes it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, almost everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Danny then arrives on the turbo dragons flying backwards, as we established. She starts to just wreck everything with the dragons, and part of me was thinking, well, I mean, they could wipe out the entire army.
Just
of the dead
just
right
aim
now
at
if they
those
wanted
ones
to.
over
no
there that
aim
look
there,
like
is
the
there?
leaders.
Just
Go for
everything.
the shiny boss ones,
Yeah.
and it'll all be over. So she's absolutely destroying everything with her
Yeah.
dragons. I assume she's on Drogon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that because that's her favorite? You can have favorite children apparently.
Apparently
with
it's
dragons.
fine.
And then the Ice King, the Night King,
Night King.
Yeah.
the
Call him
big,
the Ice King.
big bad Ice King. I think he's in Adventure Time.
Yes, it is.
Different guy, similar looking though.
Yeah.
Theory.
Yeah, well, yeah. There you go.
Shared universe.
Is there a penguin somewhere? Maybe. Everyone look out for a penguin.
White penguin.
Yes, yeah. So he then displays his skills as an Olympic
Javelin.
javelin thrower,
Yeah.
Javelinist?
javelinist. Yeah, I don't know. What do you call that? And he throws one of his ice spears.
Yeah.
Absolutely wrecks Viserion, who then crashes to the ground and falls through the ice. Everyone looks sad.
Yes.
They do a little cry, and then everyone gets onto Danny's dragon, apart from John, who actively, despite there being no whites around the dragon,
Goes to chase
goes
them.
goes
Yes.
away from the
Yeah.
dragon to fight the other whites,
Yeah.
which is just so foolish.
Yeah.
I don't know why he did that. And then they take off because the
Night King.
Ice
Ice
King,
King.
the Ice King from Adventure Time is
Got to do it again.
taking aim with another spear. So they manage to get away. They leave John, who gets overwhelmed and then falls through the ice. And you're like, okay, well, John's dead.
John's dead, definitely this time.
but
No more
then he's
fake outs.
not,
Yeah.
because he's fine,
Because he's John.
because he's John, and he gets out of the ice with his sword that isn't alive.
Which isn't
Yeah.
alive. It
Not
doesn't come
alive.
alive at that point. No.
And then he fights a few more of them, despite
Yeah.
clearly
being
he should
dead.
be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be dead. And it's old Uncle Weird-Faced Benjen
Yeah.
comes rocking up with his flaming lantern.
Which is the most rock and roll thing in that entire show was
Yeah.
him going through that. That was like a Meatloaf cover. And then all of a sudden he just decides that he's no longer for this world.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
just like, here, take my horse.
We don't have time for me to get on this horse. It
Yeah.
will take literally 1 second.
There's no
but
whites
that's
anywhere
not
near
enough
us,
time.
but there's no time.
Look, I'm just so tired. Let me die. I'm sick of looking in the mirror at my weird face. But Uncle Benjen, before you die, how did you get your weird face? There's no
Yes,
time.
listen, I'm not
time.
explaining.
You must just imagine how I got my weird face and have it never be canon.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of that? Because that was a lot happening in a
That
very
was a
short
lo-
amount of
was
time.
a very-
there's a lot to cover there.
There's a lot to-
so in
So
terms of-
the dragons show up.
yeah,
first of all.
So the dragons show up. That's some great spectacle, fire on
That's
ice,
what I'm here for.
A tease of the Great War to come. Then,
Too much fan service, though, isn't it, James?
oh yeah, I mean,
Giving us what we want.
as
God.
as a fan, I hate to be serviced.
All right.
Getting little fingers, right?
yeah. Night King kills Viserion, even though Drogon is on the ground.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
the-
aims
the-
past
the easier shot.
The important one.
You're in for the Hail Mary shot
It's
instead.
like, hey, assholes, watch this.
yeah,
Like,
it's just
oh,
showing
right,
off.
beer.
this guy's the real deal. And then he misses the more obvious
Yeah.
one later on,
Um,
somehow.
I think obviously Viserion, if a dragon was going to die, it was him because he's named after.
The biggest arsehole in
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then I think because people talked about a lack of death in this episode of how we've mentioned that Tormund survived, Beric survived, but I think that's covered by a dragon dying.
Yeah, it was one of the most like emotionally true moments as well. Like loads of people have died, and you just sort of go, "Oh well, he's dead now,"
Yeah.
because you expect it.
It
But then
was-
that happens, and the way Danny, I think Emilia Clarke's acting in that was really, really good.
Which is,
Yeah.
It was
for her.
basically a tennis ball in the sky. It
Yeah.
just fell,
Yeah.
and she's
I mean, it was her
Oh,
least
shit.
favourite child.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
But, I mean, just imagine what will happen if one of her
Yeah,
more
God.
favourite
Yeah.
children die. Look at the childs. And then, of course, John is an idiot and charges towards the whites. What did you make of that?
I think that's John It's just being John, isn't it? He's got a bit of a
It is.
hero complex.
It reaches a point though where you think, do you have anything between your ears?
Do you just want to die?
Yeah.
Like, did you hate that you were brought back to life and you just
You
want
did,
to die
like,
now?
you got like the perfect sort of WrestleMania stare down though between Night King
Yes.
and John, and that's
Yeah.
all that was for. So he could get closer, and then they could be like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't like you.
I don't like you either.
I'm going to see you soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So then he falls into the ice, comes out again, because of course he does.
Yeah.
Because armor doesn't weigh anything.
No.
Plot armor.
Plot armor helps you
important
float.
Plot armor. Yeah. In fact, where did he come out? Because it seemed like he was still quite near to the middle of the lake. It
Yeah, he
wasn't
was
like
right.
he walked up the bank and then broke through the ice. He just swam up and
Yeah.
managed to pull
Yeah.
himself out,
Yeah.
which is everyone knows from safety videos that if you fall into the ice and you try to push yourself up, that's going to break and you're going to keep doing it
Yeah.
and you're just going to get exhausted and die,
Exactly.
which is really sad.
And he was being dragged down by
kudos
like
to him.
5 whites.
He was.
Yeah.
So presumably he did some underwater fighting.
Yes,
which
without
was
his
too
sword.
expensive to show. So and then he made it out.
Yeah.
But he's still with us. He survives presumably for another season. We're going to
Yeah.
find out next episode whatever happens there.
Yeah, I don't think he's for the chop.
No,
to
he's,
be honest,
he's the main hero. I
there's
think,
going to be
so.
some people who die,
Um,
but I don't think he will.
yeah. And then Benjen, of course, which I didn't really like, to be honest.
Yeah, he
I
just
don't think it needed to happen. It was the save was good because
Yeah.
you knew that was going to happen as soon as Benjen disappeared the first time. Like you knew he was going to come back, and you knew there was going to be some sort of reunion between them because he's so important to him.
Yeah.
But it was just the most throwaway death.
It was.
Mm.
I
Ever.
feel like we've been waiting for this for so long. Like, I mean, Benjen's part of the reason why John joined Tonight's Watch in the
Yeah.
first place.
He's his
Then
hero.
he goes missing. Benjen's the reason John goes out and is killed. And we've been waiting years for this reunion. I think the way the show's handled Cold Hands as well.
It's just
a
haven't
waste,
really.
yeah.
2 episodes is that?
Yeah.
Well,
2 and a
less
bit.
than that, really.
Yeah,
It's
so it's not much screen time.
like 10 minutes. Yeah.
And it's the exact same moment as well. He rode in.
I know, yeah, saved the
Dan,
day, yeah.
Rode in, saved John in the exact same fashion, and that's it.
Did we see him die?
I think so.
Probably,
He wasn't even
yeah.
swinging his bomby knockout,
Well,
whatever
he
it was.
really didn't care, did he?
No?
No.
Giant flaming yo-yo.
He was done. They could have said that was his destiny or some rubbish like that.
It's what I was meant to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead they just said, there's no time for me to get on the horse.
Yeah.
Goodbye forever.
By
Bye,
sort
Benjen.
of maybe nephew, have a good horse ride. Does he make it? Yes, he does.
Yes, of course he does.
Danny is standing on the ramparts of Eastwatch, looking down,
Yeah.
and Jorah comes over and says,
Come on.
my queen, we must
Khaleesi.
Khaleesi, we must go. It's not because I have feelings for you, and you
He's
have feelings
devastating
for him.
Oh.
to my
Don't
point
worry.
of view.
I will comfort you, Khaleesi. But she's like, nah, mate, I have a
One more
feeling."
second.
One more second. Oh, there he is
Yeah.
on the horse, passed out, still alive, but passed out. So what do? They make him shirtless in front of the
Of course.
queen,
Yes.
Yeah.
obviously,
Yes.
and they start to heal him on a boat. Boat healing,
Yes.
the best
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
healing.
yes, no hospitals.
So they do a bit of boat healing, and we go back to Winterfell
Yes.
immediately. Did you guys have any thoughts on the boat healing? Sorry to cut that off. The shirtless boat healing.
It is quite funny. That was like one of the most important scenes in the entire show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
it's
reduced
huge.
it to boat.
Whatever.
To boat healing and sexual
Yeah.
healing and
Yeah.
She sees the
What kind of
scars
healing?
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
sick abs of Jon
Yeah.
Snow.
Yes.
Right. Doing all those crunches in between rescue
Being
missions.
miserable.
Yeah, pouting.
that scene horribly made me want
Incest.
an incest couple.
Yeah,
There's-
it's conflicting feelings,
it
this show,
is,
isn't it?
'cause
It's
it's
making
very
people
difficult.
feel
Yeah.
challenging emotions.
But there's so much chemistry between them. It's like I want it to
Because they
happen.
shared genetics. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yes.
You hear all these stories on Jeremy Kyle of brother and sister being
Yeah.
parted for years and then getting married. That's what's happening.
The Targaryens, it's fine.
I know. That's not like anti-nephew in Targaryen terms. It's like the least related you could be. That's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
furthest away.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a quarter. That's
yeah,
nothing.
Aegon had like 2 sister wives. It's fine.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh,
Which is normal and okay.
But I thought
totally normal.
that was great. That scene
Yeah.
again, very good acting from Emilia Clarke and
Yeah.
Kit Keith Harrington.
Keith
Yes.
Harrington.
Who I'm not the biggest fan of in terms of acting because he's very, very one note. But
Right.
I thought he was
Rudy.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little bit weird for me that he said Danny because he
Yeah.
turned into a Game of
Yeah.
Thrones fan for a
Yes.
minute. But
She was like, ha, what?
yeah, nobody calls me that.
Don't call me that.
Yeah.
In fact, we haven't even got to that bit yet because we go back to Winterfell
Yes,
first.
first.
And Arya steps up her weird out of character stuff.
Yeah.
Sansa's in her quarters looking for the note because Arya's threatened to basically show it to the lords to scare them away. Or turn on her, and Sansa finds her, bag of faces
Yeah.
that she carries
Bag of
around.
faces.
Is understandably a bit freaked out.
Like, what is it? What is this? Is it? It's latex. Why have you got? We haven't got
Yeah,
latex in this
exactly.
world. Where's this come from? And Arya just goes psychotic. She's like all up in her face, saying, "Oh, I wonder how it would feel to be the Lady of Winterfell. All I'd need to do is take a knife and take
Yeah.
your face.
Take off your face.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
that escalated so. I mean, I'd understand if she reached this point over the course of several episodes.
Yeah.
And I realised that in universe, it's been maybe a few days
Yeah.
since she found the note, but she's gone from 0 to 100 really
Yeah.
fast, and it just feels very strange that she would turn on her quite so aggressively.
Yeah, it's also quite odd that she does it because she finds a bag of faces. I don't really see the logic of why she would do that, why that has to be a secret.
Well, my secret's out. It's almost like she left them out to be found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Arya's game is now.
No, it didn't
Maybe she's
feel
playing
like
something.
Arya for me.
No, well, there is now a theory that it is not Arya because of the like. I don't believe this for
Ooh.
1 second.
Okay.
But because of that, the problems with that scene, people are saying, well,
Jaqen H'ghar.
that's Jaqen H'ghar, yeah, that's not
Right.
her, and Arya's dead somewhere,
That
as
was-
if that would happen.
That was a theory last year as
Imagine
well.
it-
I know, it'll happen
every
all the
year.
time.
Her off like that.
I know,
Just cuts
yeah,
to a
she's-
skeleton in a field. Like, oh,
Oh God.
that's disappointing.
Oh.
Yeah,
And but it wouldn't happen because it would spoil
No.
the entire story
Yeah.
and her whole
It
arc.
would,
But
it would make no sense with
that's
the,
what happens when you write characters badly.
the Nymeria scene wouldn't make any sense. 'Cause
No.
Really. If that was Jack.
No, because she would have eaten her
Yeah.
face.
I'm getting
Would
Adam
take her
Cleary
face off.
is texting me, not with anything useful, just
Ah.
to interrupt his show that he's not here.
You're not on this one, Adam. Stay out of
Just
it.
put
Has
it
to
on
get 'em in.
airplane
Yeah.
mode. You still got to be involved, haven't you, Adam, with your ego? Yeah. So yeah, that's all very odd.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't. I just for the record, I don't believe that, and neither should anybody.
No, it's
Right.
It's
awful.
not.
It's definitely Arya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But the thing
motives
is,
unclear.
they're setting it up for them to unite
Yeah.
in the last episode and take down
And
Littlefinger.
kill Littlefinger.
Because we haven't heard Sansa say that the lone wolf line from the trailer.
Yeah, the lone
so
wolf
that has to
dies,
come in.
But the pack
last
survives,
one, yeah.
and that's got to be her like statement to Arya
Yeah.
to
Unless that's
family bands
just before
together
Arya
and-
stabs her in the face, which is less likely.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I mean, because she gives Sansa the dagger, which is, as you
Yeah.
say, like very much hinting towards. I don't know if it's a plan they've got or testing Sansa or something.
That's
but
the thing. They could have met off camera and decided that, okay, Littlefinger's clearly trying to play us off against each other because I saw Littlefinger accept this note
Yeah.
and also put it in his room, and I think he wants. Maybe if we pretend to be at each other's throats,
Yeah.
you go to Littlefinger for advice as you normally would, and he thinks that he's got the upper hand when really we know what's going on.
Yeah,
That would make sense, but it's still
would,
kind of
but-
difficult to watch the show
Yeah.
not knowing that because it just feels a bit weird.
it doesn't make this particular scene in this episode any better in the interim because it's doing such a disservice to, especially Arya, one of the best characters
Yeah.
in A Song of Ice and Fire.
And she'd got past this point, like when she met Hot Pie in Nymeria, she was going towards that like sort of monster when she killed all the Freys, and when she was sitting eating that pie, the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And then she came back to Winterfell and she found herself a bit more. She had that moment with Brienne, and they even had like their little bit of a moment in the crypt where
Yeah, it doesn't.
it
Look
was
like
nicey, and then all of a sudden. She just goes immediately back, like even further down the line to being a monster.
Yeah, that doesn't.
It's not very good.
It doesn't make
writing.
sense. It doesn't make sense. But we go back to the sexy boat, the sexy healing
Yes,
boat.
it's very sexy now.
John now wakes up, and
Yeah.
Danny has presumably just been eyeing
Looking at him,
yeah.
eyeing
yeah.
him up for hours.
Seeing that big knife wound on his chest.
Yeah.
And,
Well, looking beyond it at the
and
sick abs.
Well,
probably.
yes, of course.
And John apologises to her for the loss of Viserion, obviously one of her children. And Dany then says that it's okay. She now believes him and that she is fully committed to fighting the war in the north.
Yeah.
And then he calls her Dany,
Yes.
which is weird.
It is.
And then he says, well, how about I call you my queen?
Yeah.
And he says, I bend the knee, but, I'm still
Yeah.
boat healing.
Yeah.
So I'm not really in a mood to do that. And then she looks all surprised by it, and they are going to have sex.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. She's not just surprised; she's aroused
Yeah.
by that.
Yeah.
And his abs.
And his
Yeah.
of course, his
Well,
sick abs.
No, you can't blame her, really.
Well,
No, I mean, we all
who
were.
wouldn't, who
Yeah,
wouldn't,
we all
right?
were.
It's knifey abs.
Yeah.
Like, can't control yourself. What do you think of this bending the knee debacle? And it seems to have come, at least for John, it may have partly been because of what Tormund
Yeah.
mentioned at the
Oh,
start of the
definitely,
episode.
100%.
But equally, if you perhaps weren't listening to that, it would strongly seem that maybe it was a mixture of arousal
Yes.
and
I'll do whatever you want.
also being apologetic for the death of the dragon.
Yeah.
That made him think, okay, well, I owe you one, so why not? But yeah,
Yeah.
he's now got a hell of a job to convince his Northmen.
Yes.
Which is also from your article.
Yes.
What does that mean? How are they going to react?
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, they are loyal to him, but they were very adamant that he didn't even go to Dragonstone.
Yeah.
They didn't even want to meet him with Daenerys Targaryen. Never mind bending the knee.
Yeah.
I don't really know if I have time for a big rebellion against Jon or anything, so
No.
they probably can't get into it too much. But
Yeah.
his
Unless
pe-
it comes in the last series.
yeah.
Maybe.
But I don't think that would sort of distract from the whole thing.
What I don't understand as well is why at no point with all this Jon and the knee talk that we've had all season, no one's just suggested they get married.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
'Cause I mean,
Join
even
the houses.
In season 6, Daenerys says like she can't bring Dario because she might need to make a marriage.
Yes.
Jon is king in the north, House Stark, one of the most noble houses.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anyone suggest that? I
Yeah.
mean, they clearly like each other as well, so that's an added bonus.
Yes.
And Davos would have been behind that. Definitely.
Yeah, then he gets
She's
closer
got a
to Miss
good heart.
Andy. And
Yeah, exactly.
And it would have
Bloody
been
pervert.
interesting. It would have been interesting to see how it plays out in terms of that would also put him ahead of her in line for the throne, right? Or is he just by default already ahead of her?
Well, he is now.
yeah,
Because
he doesn't know it, but he is,
Yeah. I don't know if he married her.
Would that change anything?
I think it would just make they could both be king and queen, I guess,
Yeah.
and just rule together. It would be nice.
That would be nice. They're weird, scaly children.
Yeah.
Only two now.
Speaking of children,
Yeah.
so that scene Daenerys mentions that they're the only children
It's
she'll
very
ever
tragic.
have. At the same time, in the episode, Jon is confronted with having children of his own,
Yeah.
seemingly for the first time he's ever really
Yes.
thought about that.
Yeah.
So
This
it's
is
clear-
called lampshading.
Yeah.
so yeah, some heavy foreshadowing there of those two maybe having a child.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's going to happen. And I don't think that the prophecy that Dany can't have kids is necessarily true.
And we're back. Our
Yay.
camera ran out of battery. We're on a completely different camera, so if this shot looks different, that's why. Sorry, James, what were you saying?
I don't remember.
You were trying to
I
pronounce
said
a name.
it was
Yes.
the prophecy.
And it was Miri Maz Jur
Yes.
or something. And her prophecy about Daenerys and having children. And she mentions a line in the books, but I don't think it's in the show.
Right.
When your womb quickens, which implies that at some point, somehow, Daenerys will be able to have children again.
Okay.
And there's a very, very high chance that if she can, the person that is with would be Jon Snow.
Oh, dear.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Because
We're all okay with it.
incestuous children in Game of Thrones don't come with webbed feet, as they do in real life.
No, they don't.
So it'll just
Yeah.
be another beautiful child, like...
A beautiful golden child.
Although
Yeah.
Jon Snow never wanted children because he didn't want to raise a bastard.
That's true.
How would he feel about raising a child of incest?
Yes, a bastard child of incest. Unless he...
Well, they could get married.
That's
but-
true. I don't think he'd care. I think he fancies Dany
That much.
more than enough that it just doesn't care.
Fair
Didn't take him long
Doesn't
to
matter.
bend that knee, did it?
Exactly.
Really, in the end, after fighting it for so long.
I don't know whether he's going to ever find out. I know
He
that
has to.
makes sense. I know that the episode title suggests that he might as well. But I sort of hope that he doesn't, in case that he doesn't want to bang his auntie
Yeah.
to put it bluntly.
I don't know.
Right.
He should-
Marry and settle down and have
Yeah.
little children, dragons.
Yeah.
Nice little dragonlets. Now, the final shot of the show, I think, is the one that got everyone talking,
Yeah.
which is Viserion being dragged out of the lake by the Ice King, and
Who had chains.
his
The
friends who had
chains
chains
from-
for some reason, massive chains. And
Must
then
have planned it. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, we are.
Final
and he does
evidence.
weird stuff to him, and his eye opens, and it's blue, and now there's an undead dragon.
Yeah.
Will it shoot fire or ice?
Yeah, that was one of your questions, wasn't it?
It was.
What will it breathe?
I hope it's blue flame.
Yeah, blue
should
flames or
be.
ice would be
Yeah.
fun.
It can't just be normal dragon fire.
Yeah,
Surely.
boring.
Yeah.
And what will it be used for? Obviously, war. Will he ride it?
He must.
Will we have a Danny versus
that must-
Night
yeah.
King?
It must
Gotta
be the dragon that leads to the wall.
Yeah.
falling.
The dragon
has
could
to be.
burn some of it down at
Yeah,
least.
with its ice fire.
Yeah, it's got to have fire so
Maybe
it
just
can
makes
burn
a
them all down.
giant slide for them to.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they'd have to get up it, I suppose. But
I don't know why the whites can't climb the wall. I know it's magical,
There you go.
yeah, it is magical, isn't
but
it?
there has to be something that causes it not to be magical now.
Bran.
So then they could just.
Yeah.
Bran.
Oh yeah, Bran touched the Night King, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, no,
He booped him.
Touched him.
Yeah, he touched him. Yeah. Let's not get bogged down on who touched who.
This is huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because as soon as I saw him shot down, I think everyone was thinking, "Oh my god, oh god, they've got a dragon.
Yeah.
they've
Yep.
now got a dragon in that lake. What are they going to do? Oh, they brought him back.
Yeah.
Oh no, oh no.
Good heavens.
Are we going to see him as soon as this week's episode, or are we going to wait until next
I
season?
think we might have seen the last of the Night King,
Yeah,
unless
no
we
more
get
dead
unless we
apart
get
from-
another like fan baiting shot with him riding the dragon right at the very end.
Yeah.
But I don't think we will, because I have a theory that the last scene of the whole series will be just snow falling in King's Landing. That'll be the only thing.
Right.
I think it'll be, but that would be really subtle and artsy, when in fact it could just be him
And this season is
with
not being
Benjamin's
subtle.
thing flying into King's Landing.
Yeah. I think he'll remove the lantern and put Benjamin's head on the end.
Yes.
instead. But,
Yes.
Hey, Jon Snow! I've taken everything from you. So that's obviously massive. We
Yeah.
do have a few questions, not from you guys, because apparently that's the thing that happens here that I
It is.
wasn't aware of.
Yes, we weren't told.
Questions posed by yourself on the article, whatculture.com.
Now you get to answer
Am I
yourself.
answering my own questions?
Yeah, you do. I want you to pull it up on your phone and I want you to read it. Where was Bran?
Yeah.
What was he doing? Where's he been? Is he still looking at the tree? Has someone gone to get him yet? Because I feel like
He
they
is
could very
trapped, yeah.
easily
Yeah.
forget that he's
There's-
out by the tree for
There's
days at a
so
time.
much in this episode that could just be solved by talking to Bran.
Yeah. This whole
Hey,
series.
hey Bran, what's up? Like, what's happening?
Oh, I don't know. Oh.
You got raped.
Yeah.
Did you guys
Beautiful.
see the tweet where someone said, "How is Bran Stark aging into all four of the Beatles?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's perfect.
He's an odd looking guy.
Yes.
But he plays an odd looking character
Yeah, he's-
with odd things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me wonder why they've brought him back to Winterfell this series. I know that like you got the nice moment where he said chaos is a ladder, but other than that, and telling Sansa that he watched, other than that,
Yeah.
there hasn't been a great deal for him to do. Like you would think it would be much more useful.
Yeah.
Oh, he did send Jon
the
his
Raven,
his
about-
Raven, yeah.
about the vision.
But he didn't tell him, oh, you're a Targaryen.
No.
That's
Oh,
key information.
That's an in-person reveal, surely.
But why?
Sam could have done that as well if he'd been paying attention.
Exactly,
to his,
yeah.
to his lady friend.
Bran is not the most social person.
No.
So why would he want to say it? He'd probably say something like, I watched you try and bang your auntie. Just to be awkward. Super orcs.
Yeah. Then we also have the question: will Cersei believe or act on the undead friend that they brought with
Yeah.
them?
I mean, again, something like no one has ever stopped to question during this plan is why would
Why would she
Cersei,
care?
who is like, the mad queen and just interested in power for herself, why they show her this zombie? Why would
Maybe
she care?
the baby hormones will make her
No, it's adorable.
not fall in love with it and adopt it, but maybe make her a little bit more
Like,
I don't
worried
know.
for
Yeah,
the
a little
future.
bit more cooperative.
if any of those characters had paid attention, the most likely thing to happen is that Qyburn will take it and experiment on it because that's what he does.
Right.
He will get an absolute science boner for it. I don't think Cersei will particularly care because I don't think she'll think it's an immediate threat. I think she's completely obsessed with the idea of being on the throne. If they went down and said, this guy here wants to sit on your throne, then she'd be like, oh, well, I'll do something about that.
I think she's more concerned with defeating Daenerys and protecting her house.
And it might just make her give her the idea to go and work with the Night King.
Yeah.
I definitely think somebody's going to work with the Night King.
Right.
I think this is just my fan fiction.
Littlefinger is working with the Night King. Also, what's going to happen in the Dragon Pit? Now, I'm not familiar with this. What is the Dragon Pit?
So the Dragon Pit, this is kind of getting into next week's episode and the trailer and stuff.
Okay.
But it's fine because everybody watches it, apart from Ben.
Okay. So that's where they're going to have the big meeting and show Cersei the White.
In a place called the Pit. The Dragon Pit.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a place where...
It sounds like a safe venue, doesn't it?
It does,
Like
yeah.
Nothing could
Especially
go
considering
wrong.
it's falling down as well.
Right.
Partly.
That's a place where they used to keep the dragons.
Okay.
She's done it
And-
symbolically, hasn't
Yeah.
she? She's that's a place that signifies Targaryen defeat, and she's making Dany come there and like show her own power, basically. So it's quite clever. And also, it's got a big hole underneath it, so which she could fill with wildfire,
Right.
or something like that.
Well,
Everyone's going to be
there was
there.
wildfire under
it,
it before. Yeah, so...
There might
All of
still
your
be.
favourite friends.
Yeah.
They're just going to kill everybody.
Everyone.
Like Sansa and Arya are going to be the only two left.
Oh,
and
God,
Bran.
I can't watch a season of those two bickering. I can't do that.
Yeah, so it's going to have...
And Tormund, because he's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes! I'll be happy.
Well, just Tormund.
Just Tormund.
Just Tormund.
Just Tormund.
Yeah.
Season 7 is Tormund.
Yeah.
Trying to
Tormund
find
and Beric.
Brienne. Yeah.
I know.
Beric and
Brienne's there,
and his
unfortunately.
Kebab sword,
Yeah.
So that was episode 6.
Yes.
Now, this week's episode is obviously the final of the season.
Yeah.
The season finale. It's 79 minutes long, called The Dragon and the Wolf.
Yes.
Which obviously alludes to not only Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen, but also his parents as
Yes.
well, who are...
Rhaegar Targaryen and
Lyanna.
Lyanna Stark.
There we go. What do you guys think is going to happen in that?
So much.
Yeah.
There has to be a lot.
There's a lot going to happen because it's so long. I think there'll be... well, when I saw the title, my first thought was Rhaegar flashback.
Yeah.
Because the show hasn't explicitly confirmed yet that Rhaegar Targaryen is Jon's father. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen him. So I think we're going to see him in some way. That's my big hope.
Yes, I think so as well.
Then you've got everything at the Dragon Pit. You've got possibly a little version of Clegane Bowl with the Hound in the Mountain.
Yeah.
You've got
Hopefully.
Jaime and Brienne reuniting. Something like that in there.
And Brienne saying, look, I'm sorry, Jamie. I've come all this way and I realise all I want is Tormund.
All I
want is
weird
Tormund
man
Giant's
who
Pit.
leers at me.
Yeah.
Scary,
don't know.
leering ginger.
Look, this episode changed everything about Tormund. He was, up until it, he was doing all the eating the chicken
Yeah.
provocatively and like making faces that suggested all he wanted was to like have sex with her.
Yeah, but he wants to
then
have
he said he
babies.
wants to have babies. Oh,
Yeah.
my heart.
He wants to be with her.
Yeah. He
Forever
wants
and ever.
giant warrior babies.
Oh, they will be giant.
There's nothing more romantic in his world than the idea of that.
This is a man who slept with a bear. Like, I mean,
That's fine.
Come on.
That's why he likes her.
It's north of the wall, isn't it?
Makes her romantic.
Tyrion
Everything's
dead.
fine. You do what you can.
It's different over there.
But Jamie's not a better option. Jamie, who has sex with his sister
One hand.
Yeah.
and raped her, has one hand.
Everyone knows that affects genetics
Brienne
as
needs
well,
two.
so all the children will have one hand too.
she is the big
to
woman.
handle her, she needs two hands.
So wrapping up, what did you guys think of this episode overall? Do you think it was the best of the season?
It's up there. It's up there with the Spoils of War. I think both are very, very good spectacles.
Yeah.
I think that the
It
Spoils
has
of War,
issues,
the
but-
battle at the end of the Spoils of War wasn't as good as the action set piece at the end of Beyond the Wall. But I think that the build up to the action in Spoils of War was slightly smarter.
Right.
There wasn't as much good dialogue. Like all up to the fighting, up to the polar bear bit, let's say. Everything that anybody said could have been written on a T-shirt, and you'd be like, "That's the best Game of
Yeah,
Thrones
it's
T-shirt
a
I've
lot
ever
of
seen."
just great quotable
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
But it don't, like James says, has got massive issues.
Yeah,
Right.
But, it's a great episode still.
Yeah.
Even with those issues, I think. But I don't think it's up there if you look at
Battle of the Bastards.
Battle of the Bastards, Hard Home, Blackwater, The Reigns of Castamere,
Yeah.
all the other episode 9s.
Right.
Probably better than Dance of Dragons and
Yeah.
Watchers on the Wall. Apart from those two.
I think it's very, like, the spectrum of those great episodes is very tight. It's not like it's massively worse than Hard Home or anything like that. I think it was arguably the best spectacle in the entire series.
Right.
The best action, I would say. I like it better than Battle of the Bastards. I just think that there's little things like you didn't need to repeat the John coming out of the water. We've already seen that in Battle of the Bastards where he comes out of the people.
Yeah.
And Benjen saving the day, I think it didn't need to be repeated as well.
No.
But I thought nothing of this when I was watching it.
Yeah.
All I was thinking was, "Oh my god!" all the entire
Yeah.
time,
All gonna
which is
die.
which is what I wanted to feel with
Right.
these episodes. And I just think it's a massive shame that not everybody, but there's a lot of people saying it's too much fan service and it's like fan fiction writing, which I just don't get it. I don't get why is too much of a good thing bad.
Yeah.
Well, what did you guys think? Let us know in the comments section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Obviously, next week is the series finale, which means it will be the series finale of Whatculture. And Game of Thrones Ups and Downs with Adam Cleary. I'm sure your regular hosts will be returning next week. For better or for worse. Probably better. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Whatculture GOT. Apparently, that's a Twitter account that exists.
It is,
I've been
yes.
told to promote.
Yes.
That exists, so go and follow that. Until next time, I have been Ben from Whatculture. This has been Simon from Whatculture, and this has been James from Whatculture. Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
Bye.